you, everybody. Kelsey, I'm not sure if you were able to get my my presentation loaded in here, but if not, it's not a big deal. I can just continue with it. It was just a bunch of before and after photos. So
I was not. I'm so sorry.
That's quite all right. In essence, I'm just going to give you guys kind of a rundown. I'm a little better at this when I'm in person with everybody, but I'll try to keep it fairly entertaining and brief today. One of the biggest things I guess I want to start with is I am the owner and license holder for Bartlett Construction. We've been in business for over 14 years and completed well over 2,000 renovation projects. In my previous life, I completed complex industrial projects like the test gates at the U.S.-Mexico border, Doha International Airport. We installed a custom slide gate, and some projects like Fort Knox, to name a few. So I've kind of transferred from that, and now we specialize in residential renovation projects for homeowners. One of the biggest things I want to address today really is the importance of hiring a licensed professional. A lot of times people come to me and they mention, what's the value in hiring a licensed contractor? It's just more expensive. You guys charge more than, your local, service providers and craftsmen in the area. And there's a lot of it we're seeing come to light right now, especially at the tail end of all these hurricane damage that we saw. I'm getting flooded with calls right now from folks that hired unlicensed contractors to do the renovation, and they're now suffering the aftermath. We're going into homes where the work's done incorrectly. They can't close out the projects, and they took off with a lot of the money for the folks. So a major red flag right off the bat is anybody charging more than 10% deposit. It's actually illegal for contractors to charge any more than that. So, a lot of these unlicensed professionals come in, they want 50% down. That should be a major red flag right out of the gates. One of the best ways that I can really convey the importance of hiring a licensed professional is to do sort of a brief little case study that I wanted to share with you guys. The guy that I like to call Matthew, our mastermind, he's been in business he's 40 years old. He's been doing renovations for over 75 years. Never had any time to bother studying math or science or physics because it only would have held him back. He didn't want to sit for the state exam because, it would have taken away from his time on the job learning and studying. So Matthew comes to your house here on your beach property. He's there to do a tile job and realizes real quickly while he's standing in your home that you have a lot nicer stuff than he does. So he figured he better get to work and puts down the meth pipe and goes to pick up a bag of thin set. Instantly lower back pain. Lower back pain is one of those injuries that you do not need any evidence. There's no way that you can necessarily prove or disprove either the fact that they have lower back pain or the amount and extent of their lower back pain. However, Matthew and his lawyer believe that $100,000 a month for the rest of his life would make him feel more comfortable. So his initial response is, well, that's fine. We'll just go for the workers' comp. So you as a homeowner don't have a workers' comp policy. So you're going to be personally liable to cover all his expenses and any money that he feels he's entitled to for no longer being able to work, for loss of value of life, things of that nature, where basically, like I said, he feels, him and his lawyer feel it's about $100,000 a month that you could personally provide to him that would make him feel whole. No way to really contest that lower back pain or disagree with it or prove that he's lying. So you're pretty much stuck with it, and you'd probably find that it'd be cheaper to just gift him your beach house, and maybe even all the contents and maybe even some walk-in money might be cheaper than continuing to pay this gentleman the rest of his life. So just something to keep in mind when people say, well, what's the value in hiring a licensed contractor? Just keep in mind our Matthew, the mastermind, that could possibly be coming to your project. Another issue is accountability. When you hire a licensed professional, we're licensed with the Construction Licensing Board. We're with the Business of Professional Regulation. These individuals that are unlicensed, a perfect example, I went into a lady's home last week. She hired an unlicensed professional. He started the project. He took a 50% down payment, took half her insurance money. And as I'm walking around the place, I'm like, ma'am, every single one of these windows is not impact rated. None of these doors are impact rated. All this has got to be ripped back out. The framing and block work that was done was incorrect. They cut the slab open, did plumbing work under the slab, told her no need to inspect it. We can just have an engineer sign off on it at the end. That is not correct. It does need to be inspected. So all of the concrete slab, everything had to be cut back open, ripped back out. All the work that he had done essentially needed to be redone in order to pass the inspection. And in addition, he had already taken half her money. So she was left with no funds to cover it. She's out of insurance money, can't get a loan for the property to complete the work. So now she's got a demolished home and no funds to cover putting the home back together. So you don't want to find yourself in that situation. Hire a licensed professional and avoid those problems. So some of the things you can have as an advantage of hiring Bartlett Construction is going to be obviously our professionalism. We're licensed and insured. We offer a series of, I lost my notes here. A couple of services that Bartlett Construction offers is we've got our concept design services, which if you've got a space, you just don't know what you want to do with it, for a low upfront cost, we can come in and do a thorough design of your home. We'll come in with a matter report, do a 3D scan of the entire home, and give you 3 to 4 options of various different design features you could do with it, whether it be additions, moving walls, relocating kitchens and bathrooms, things of that nature. We also offer design build services at a fraction of the cost that it would be to hire an architect. We work with a draftsman who actually still sends all his drawings and packages off to a structural engineer and an architect for signature and sign off. So they're still professional drawings that we can use for permitting. And we can do that at a fraction of the cost. In addition, you're going to have professional construction management services. At Bartlett Construction, we've got a very detailed project delivery process where we've got a team of professionals that's going to oversee and hand deliver your project through the process. We've got a project manager that's going to be assigned to your project right from the get-go. We've got a construction manager that's going to be coming to your job site regularly. We've got on-staff carpenters and craftsmen as well that are going to be in and out of your project throughout the duration. So we're not just going to randomly send gentlemen to your house and hope for the best. We oversee every aspect of the way. We inspect the work ourselves. We have a thorough checklist that we implement along the way before we even call for county inspection. So by the time you get a county inspection, we've typically already completed several inspections prior to that point. So another thing to keep in mind is, again, the professionalism that you're going to have. Looks like I'm running short on time here, so I'm going to kind of skip on to the ideal clients and referrals for us. Career professionals with growing families looking for some additional space or trying to utilize the space that they currently have to make room for more family members. Folks with a vacation home or second home, they're always good opportunities. And then anybody with like a coastal property, that's obviously a fantastic opportunity for us. And then anybody in established neighborhoods built before 2000, those are going to be typically in need of renovation or refurbishing, which is a great opportunity for us. Some of the advantages to y'all for referring us, realtors, we're offering a 3% sales commission for assisting with a sale or introduction to a potential project. We're also going to be, in January, we're going to be offering a 1% colleague BNI member sales commission to all members in BNI. So it's another 1% to you folks. And then any referral that we get through BNI is going to feed other BNI members as well. So there's a huge group advantage to bringing referrals and opportunities to us as well, because we're going to use everybody in our team to help complete the project. So again, please hire Bartlett Construction. And if not us, please give us a call. I'm happy to help and talk to you guys through anything that you might be facing or any questions you have with your other contractors that you've hired. But please hire a licensed professional.